situation because McGuinness, and now McGuinness has a job tagging Williams.
Lee from about 50 metres, a high drop punt. He's given it a real ride to the square. Ingerson with a fly at the back, got a couple of grabs on it. Carlton on the bottom, and it'll be a bounce down with Adelaide within 10 metres of the goal.
I think it's a good move from Corns. We saw in Sydney last year that McGuinness went on to Williams and really turned the game around for the Crows.
Yes, Matthew Hogg now picking up Jarman.
Ingerson doing the ruck work. Dean's quick kick away. Schwert with him. Bradley. Free kick. Schwert.
Oh.
Ticky touch.
Oh, very soft, Bruce. Now look at Bradley's stats in that first quarter. He's only had one hand pass up to quarter time. Schwert, his direct opponent, has had 3 kicks and 4 hand passes. 24-year-old who has made his debut this season. Tucked away in the pocket. Parker kicked a goal from here in the first quarter. Drop punt. Good kick. Goal. Adelaide back in front.
The one for Rowan Welsh in the first quarter. Williams had the headlock applied by McGuinness, but no free kick. Aythorne dummies the handball and goes down the corridor. This is the way Carlton have been instructed to play. Ball on the ground. Parker underneath it. The umpire says, fellas, I'll take the ball. Let's clear it out and get underway again. Ben Hart on the bottom of the pack. Amazingly, only 17 years old. Played every game this season. Be a star for Adelaide for years to come. Wren versus Kernahan. Kernahan round the corner. Out in front was Welsh. Through comes Hogg, who kicks it. It needs to off break, but he gets a leggy. And it goes left of the goalpost. We're only behind.
There's another shot at goal, I think, Jared. The umpire bringing the ball back. Matthew Hogg to have another shot from only 20 metres out.
I think he may have been taken perhaps a little bit high by Smart, and Smart indicating there that he was just got him at the back of the neck, and so no infringement.
Golly.
So we've seen the last 2 shots of goal come from very, very suspect free kicks.
He's only kicked 1 goal for 92, Matthew Hogg.
Well, this should be a dead set soda. Walks in, and that's exactly what it was, a goal.
Well, Carlton back in front. Kicked very accurately. Only had 6 shots at goal, but still leading the match. Adelaide with 10 shots at goal and 1 point behind. As we have a look at this in replay, good play by Hogg. He read it beautifully, raced through, but how that free kick was paid, I cannot work out. Very soft free kick there, but free kick paid to Matthew Hogg.
(31-30). So a soft free kick there for Hogg and goal. Here's Bradley. Will he be inspired into some action? Aythorne with the left foot looking for Williams, who's got away from Jarman again. Williams centering. On a long lead, Welsh. Good play by Williams.
Yeah, Welsh very good up forward too, Bruce. Obviously has goal-kicking ability, 84 goals last year in the VFA. He looks very good, can take a mark. And he is picked up at only number 33 in the 92 March draft.
It's about 40 metres out. Geez, kicked that well. Look at that go through for a goal. Carlton 6-1 to 4-6. And that was his second for Welsh. Gee, Bernie, you would have been pleased with that one in your heyday.
Didn't that come off his beautifully there from Welsh from about 45 metres out, and that's a difference. Ingerson in that first quarter has had 3 shots from a similar distance and didn't register a goal, but on that occasion that was a magnificent kick from Welsh.
Back in the centre. Wren with a good tap down finds Jarman. Jarman fumbles a little bit. Gleeson is besieged by players. There's a little bit of push and shove, but it's interesting, Carlton's last 2 goals have come from Hogg and Welsh. Hogg's manning up Jarman, and Welsh got his kick from Williams. Through comes McGuinness. McGuinness goes long, but it'll float over the boundary line. And my point there was that Corns instituted the change of those 2 players, and immediately it's cost them 2 goals.
Well, he may think, Jared, that Greg Williams doesn't man up as well as Matthew Hogg, so he may get some attacking moves out of Tony McGuinness.
The fly was from young Cavidan, but it comes to Darryl Hart. Hart on to McDermott. McDermott finds McGuinness, who is getting away from Williams, as Bernie suggested, and an excellent pass has found Ingerson. But you wouldn't like to have your house on him converting this chance. He's kicked 3 points already this afternoon.
Well, John Klug's only been on the ground for about 3 minutes, and he's been replaced again by Micken. Micken back to centre-half forward.
So in comes Ingerson. He needs to convert one for the confidence. And that looks a bit better. It certainly is. It's a goal.
All he had to do was put it in front of them, and Adelaide would have had a real chance of goaling.
Well, it was well read from Marshall, and he kicked it long. He's found Micken, who's run onto the ground and immediately made his presence felt. Micken to the centre of the forward line. Ingerson, well, if he can do anything in football, he can mark. And he really is getting away from Sexton, although he just hasn't converted enough. But perhaps with this shot, it could be his second goal in the quarter.
Yes, he provided a very good lead there, Ingerson. And it was honoured by Mark Micken, who is doing very well at centre-half forward.
Well, from exactly the same position as not so long ago, Ingerson strolls in and puts it straight through the centre. So Adelaide strike back, and they've hit the front. 6 goals, 6, 5 points in front of Carlton.
This is the replay of that lead up. Very open forward line. Ingerson had plenty of room to lead into. The Carlton players not really getting back and filling the gaps there. Ingerson had plenty of room to lead into and was out in front of Sexton to take that strong chest mark.
Adelaide by 5 points at Princes Park. Kernahan in the ruck wins it. Gleeson cleverly. Cavidan on a long lead. With him is Smart over the top of both. Julio with his pace. Oh, good kick. What a goal. A beauty. The Blues are in front. It's a good game here at Princes Park at 7-1 to 6-6.
Yeah, well, I looked at pretty...
Ball on the bottom of the pack. There's a bit of desperation there now from Carlton. Bradley for one of his few kicks. It's a poor one. It finds Micken, who taps it forward. Brown brought down by Gleeson. Bond gets the handball to Dorotich, and Dorotich gets Carlton out of trouble. It's Williams with the one hand. Superb Mark Williams against the pressure of McGuinness.
He held him off beautifully, didn't he, Jared?
Yes, well, he's a talented player, if not the best in the AFL, certainly the top bracket. Well done, Koutafidis, for his first touch in AFL football. Carlton did a lot of work convincing this boy that his future lay on the football field and not the athletics track. And perhaps that's an indication of why. Strong mark from Maynard at the back of the pack.
Sweeps it to Bickley. Yes, Koutafidis on Hart, so a 19-year-old on a 17-year-old. Bickley running away. Smart doing the shepherding. Bickley from the centre square. Lee and Micken the targets. Oh, well-read lip tack. He should go. Running, drop punt, gives it a hook, kicks it terribly, and he should be upset. Gee, that was a gimme.
It was a gimme. It was only 30 metres out lip tack and really just tried to steer it through instead of really just drilling it. He held back on that kick. He's got a little bit nervous coming into goal.
Don't get many easier opportunities at this level of footy. Sexton bangs it at Ordine with a big fly. Free kick going to Kernahan. Ordine, is it?
No, it has to be
the mark, is he?
Oh,
The mark was there.
oh, how did he get up on Micken's back?
Well,
he used his hands to get up there.
It's irrelevant.
No, it is not irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. I've asked Bill Della.
Oh, well, you and Bill Della need the sack.
Kernahan. Well, Jared can't. We need him today, Bernie. Here's Hart. Ben Hart cleverly to Daryl Hart. Left foot. Gee, I didn't think Dean held it very long anyway. Back to the centre. Better be careful. I think I'm barracking for Adelaide. Here's Jarman. Well played. Not such a good handball. McDermott to Marshall, who's been pretty effective. Marshall with a short one in towards Lee. Got a good bounce. He can go here. Goes for it. Drop punt. Kicks it pretty well. The Crows in front by a goal. And Scott Lee, who's kicked 5 goals in his last 4 matches, has kicked a couple today.
Yes, well, I'd just like to apologise to you and Bill Della there, Jared. That was a little bit harsh, calling for the sack. But I just cannot agree with that interpretation. We see Scott Lee kicking his second goal as the Carlton player, his direct opponent, Milhana, slipped. But Scott Lee has turned out to be a pretty effective forward.
Well, must be crisis time for Carlton because Kernahan's been moved into the ruck in the centre. But well done by Wren. Takes the ball away. Oh, could have been a free kick there to Liptak. Comes now to Dean. Dean goes long. Kernahan, strong mark overhead. And Carlton have got plenty of space. This will finish with Bradley. No, it won't. Gleeson goes totally across the ground. He had Bradley free, but he goes for the long kick in. Picking the ball up now is the sweeper. He goes for the banana kick, a sensational goal.
Comes into his own man, Dorotich. McGuinness, excellent handball to Marshall. Get run down by Brown. Just didn't have the vision for a moment. High kick by Hogg. Dorotich should take it, and he does. Gee, a moment ago, Gerald, it was a snooper calling the sweeper as Dorotich goes into the centre. D'Ulio, not this time. Wren, no free kick. Gleeson, who's been important. Drop punt pass to Caverton. With him, Lee. Smart, I should say. Caverton goes to ground. Throw in the pocket. Young Caverton, the 20-year-old, back for the first time in 3 weeks today. He's a very promising player. And so's the man with him now, Wren. McDermott did all right to hold it up in the end. Smart, now Ben Hart. Fit of the fumbles, keeps his eye on it. Pressured by Bradley. Kudafidi smothered by Daryl Hart. Schwert run down, a good tackle, McDermott. Oh, play Kudafidi, he's a goal! Well done, young fellow. Well, that'll lift them. D'Ulio and Kudafides. Inspired goals within a couple of minutes, and the Blue Boys are in front at Princes Park by a goal.
Yes, inspiration.
Free kick. He's one of the men I was pointing out's exhausted, Wren, because he's had 3 or 4 big men against him in this first half. He'll need a rest. Kernahan's kick, well played by Bickley. Brown clever. Gleeson to go for goal. Drop punt, puts it through. 10-2, 7-7. And the Blues are on a roll. It's an ominous sign, Bernie.
It's been a wonderful quarter of football by Carlton. 6-goal term. And doing things very nicely at the moment. They have applied enormous pressure to this Adelaide side. And just a few cracks starting to appear in the Crows. And there we see Gleeson just finishing that off very nicely. A lot of pressure being applied and the cracks starting to appear.
Free kick out of the centre, going to Adelaide, 62-49. It's been a splendid game, and a moment of truth now for Adelaide. Wren to Ingerson on a long leg, gets pushed out of it, no free. Dorotich's left foot to a Paddock. Marshall out after it, and so is D'Ulio and Brown. Marshall did very well. Liptak's half volley was clever. He's conceded a lot of ground. McDermott's going to have to go. Kernahan, his best mate, wins the footy for the opposition. D'Ulio quickly, not so well done. Smart to bang it back to centre half forward. Micken out of position. Dorotich should get a free kick, and he will.
Yes, the play will come back now. The umpire has signalled the free kick. There's no advantage there, much to the disgust of Adrian Gleeson, who was charging away.
Correct decision by the umpire. Once play stops, he has no option other than to bring the ball back.
Elvin goes wide into the sunshine. It is a little bit slippery over there, as you see. Well done, Marshall, who brings the ball back for the Crows. He's got Ingerson again.
Oh, he's paying a free kick. Surely that was just use of the body. There's an experienced umpire, a grand final umpire of 1991.
You said it all, Bernie, I think. Hannah comes wide. He's got the young player in Kudafides. Boy, he looks a talented prospect. The long kick. He's Balding backs into the pack. Good punch from Maynard. Got the back of the pack is Gleeson, who bends the ball around, but it's pretty high. Underneath it is Wren and Kernahan. Bradley, he'll look for the quick hands. But Gleeson was too close to the boundary line. I didn't like that option in the first place. Gleeson just took the ball out of bounds.
John Klug about to come back on. He's replacing Murphy.
They've kicked 6 goals in this term, Carlton. And they look like they're in for another one. As Spalding, well, I wouldn't be so sure with Spalding, but he should goal this from only 30 metres out.
Yeah, well, he's no certainty, Earl Spalding. He's pretty erratic in front of goal. Only from 30, 35 metres out, big Earl Spalding. He's kicked 11 goals for the season. And coming in for his first goal today.
So Spalding would have kicked a number of goals during this week, practicing this exact same thing. Lines up and straight through the middle. As Spalding gets his first and Carlton get their 11th, 7th goal for the term, they now lead 68 points to 49.
Well, they've opened up a 19-point advantage. As you watch this in replay, Earl Spalding just working his way in front of Maynard. It's been a pretty good battle, that one. Maynard doing pretty well. Spalding with the use of his body and greater height advantage made it virtually impossible for Maynard to affect that spoil.
68 to 49. The Blues have kicked the last 4 goals in the game. Well, again, Liptak just with a little tap and free kick against Alvin. There's been some technical free kicks played here today. Liptak's drop punt. Ingerson the lead. He's been very good today. And a good mark. Oh, gee, not played. Thought he held that a couple of times. Brown, Williams, Ingerson now, Wren. Oh, good take by the young fellow. Wren's kick, Sexton in the front spot, Lee at the back. Sexton takes the mark.
Too tall for Lee.
Well, Wren was under pressure when he kicked it to him. Sexton goes wide. Cavidan, Marshall runs into him. Brown, he's got Hogg. Hogg's got a paddock, and D'Ulio's with him. Hogg goes from centre wing up towards Kernahan on the half-forward flank. Well robbed, though, by Maynard in the end. The handball to Smart. Smart's handball under some pressure to Jarman. It'll have to be quick. Turned Hogg inside out brilliantly. Left foot by Jarman to centre wing. Dorotic in the box seat. No pressure from Nickon that time. And Dorotic is tightened up, takes the mark. Hannah running for him. The Blues are on top at the moment. Centre wing, it'll be a throw in. Gee, I thought Ingerson took that mark a moment ago.
Well, I thought his opponent, actually Dean, may have got just a touch in between a couple of grabs there, Bruce.
Wren and Cavidan. Cavidan at the back, wins the tap. McGuinness tries to crash his way through. He's been quiet today. In fact, McGuinness and Bradley, who if you're betting before the match, you'd back one of them to be the real possession getter on the day. And look at that, 2 and 3 for McGuinness, and Bradley has had 3 and 3.
Yes, there's always going to be a game one in the middle, this one. Liptak will swing onto the left foot. A pretty ordinary kick. Comes to Gleeson now. Gleeson has had his kick smothered. Jarman, what can he do? Quick hands, intelligent player. Something always happens. And it's Brown who's got Klug on his own, but lets it go. Well, what happened there? Could be the death knell for the Crows. And how costly was that shepherd from Wiedemann?
Well, they were away and running, weren't they, the Crows? And there's Rowan Welsh, a very promising prospect for Carlton. 84 goals last year in the VFA. Cavidan off for Carlton, and Parker back on the ground. He should make the distance quite easily from here, Rowan Welsh.
From 45 metres, as Bernie said, he'll make the distance. The ball bends back. It's home. Four goals to Rowan Welsh. In a fine display up forward. And Carlton now lead 15-10-100, 21 points in front of Adelaide, 11-13-79.
There's the kicking style of Rowan Welsh. He's kicked 2 goals in his final term, 4 goals for the match. And that could be the sealer as far as Carlton is concerned. Rowan Welsh, very good on the forward line.
Blues with a century up, lead by 21 points. Wren missed by Wiedemann. Marshall. McDermott trying his heart out. McGuinness, the handball skill's still there. Schwert to Marshall. A centering kick. Dorotic going back against the flow. Showed some courage. Lee for his 4th goal. Rolling, and a behind.
Yes, that was great courage, John Dorotic, going back with the flight of the ball. He's held up the Adelaide Crows on a number of occasions at centre-half back, especially in that 3rd quarter, Bruce, when they looked a little bit dangerous at times.
No question, he's played his best football under David Parkin. Williams to Aythorne. Left foot, Spalding. Big stretch, free kick to Spalding. Against Maynard or Wren. Wren in a bit of pain there, the young fellow. 4 of the big men going for that. Wren having trouble picking himself up. Here's Hogg. Goes bang with a high one and gives Welsh a big chance. It was a good kick. You saw Welsh was at the back, and Welsh has kicked the 2 goals in this quarter as Wren finally gets to his feet. He's absolutely exhausted and injured. But the Hog option was a good one, Bernie.
Yes, especially Rowan Welsh going to the player who's capable of kicking a good distance and kicking accurately as well. A proven goal kicker.
He's kicked 4 goals. Both Carlton's goals in this final term. And this to put the absolute sealer, you'd think, with 10 minutes remaining. Drop punt. Pushed it at the end. A behind. The Blues 15-11. Adelaide still hanging in at 11-14, but it's a big margin in the context of this game.
He's an outstanding prospect, Welsh. He, of course, was recruited from Dandenong after a stint with Essendon under-19s.
The time is nigh for the Crows. They must do something now. Delulio, good tackle from Smart, who slings him to the ground, but fortuitously the ball comes to Bradley, and an excellent chip kick. Great vision. Finds Gleeson.
Well, things going Carlton's way at the moment. Craig Bradley, who's been pretty quiet throughout the afternoon, only had 1 touch in that first quarter. That was his 11th kick. He's had 9 handballs as well, but clever centering kick, giving Gleeson this opportunity.
Well, he's not a great shot at goal, Gleeson. He's kicked 7 this year. This is a vital one. Doesn't hit it terrifically well. Oh, nearly a big mark to Walsh.
He wobbled that one off the boot, didn't he?
Yes, he
really
didn't strike that at all well.
Didn't strike it at all.
Tasco to bring the ball back in for the Crows. They need a knock-on. Wren gets it to McDonald. Gets it
Marshall.
there to Marshall. Kernahan. Just a chip kick. And it seems as if Carlton now are just trying to hold the play up. They've got a significant enough lead in 22 points. And really now it's up to the Crows to make the play. Kernahan takes the ball in 2 hands. Knock on there.
He really did pull the kick there, Williams. He's realised the danger. He held his kick back. That wasn't kicking in danger.
Daryl Hart short to Bickley. To Wiedemann. Who gets a Bronx cheer. Now Maynard. Ben Hart on a long lead. Sexton with him. Hart with a stretch. Sexton at the back. Dean did very well. Held up cleverly, though, by Ben Hart. His little kick gives himself a chance. Dorotich over the top. Now Brown, and run down by Sexton legitimately and out of play.
He's been good, Sexton, too, for Carlton.
Yes, they've really tightened up. Bernie. Adelaide's only kicked 3 goals since half-time. David Brown started very well, but has had some quiet moments since. Ingerson and Dorotich. Now Gleeson, who's had 26 kicks today. But you've read it well a moment ago, Jared, saying he's not the best shot for goal.
A lot of possessions there for Gleeson. 26 kicks and 7 hand passes.
And 10 of those possessions in the 3rd quarter when McDermott had the same. Here's Williams. Bit hard the handball for Hogg, who was stationary. Left foot. Delulio over Wren's head. Kernahan. Delulio will run with him. Kernahan sweeps it to Spalding, who was injured a moment ago. And Big Earl goes bang and puts it through.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Brewery.
18